Just check it out for yourself. Follow me.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome, of course, back to our regularly scheduled program. Since last week we ran on Wednesday, we are now back officially on Thursday nights. Big shout out once again to Bob last week for coming in and having some fun. And it was a good episode, and we're going to just continue moving forward with some positive. My guest tonight is an old friend. I've been fortunate enough to kind of get to know him over the years, and wasn't it really until here in the last, I'd say probably in the last year and a half, that we really started kind of talking a little bit more regularly. And I'm grateful for that because he and his family are some of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life, and I truly enjoy them. And he is a fellow Mad Viking. As a matter of fact, he's one of the main guys. What's up, Mike? What's up, Yukon? He is one of the main members of the team, and none other I'm talking about than Mr. Stu Eggers, representative not only for Mad Viking but for the Hoosier Bearded Alliance, and he is here to talk to us about the Bowling Bash. What is up, sir?
Hey, how's it going?
It's been a good week.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna continue to roll with those positive vibes, and hopefully we can roll them all through the rest of the year, especially with going into this Bowling Bash next weekend.
Yes,
I'm
it's
super
gonna be
excited
exciting.
for this. So, but I do want to jump into your story. We'll get to the Bowling Bash here in just a little bit, but out of all the years that I've known you, I've never actually gotten like how you got here into the beard community.
Yeah, so for me, it all started 2014. My wife and I were down in Florida. I was active duty Air Force at the time, and I was separating for a medical reason. And at the end of my time, the day before my last day in uniform, I shaved clean shaven for the last time, and was going to do a quote unquote freedom beard, and at least grow it for a year. The first 8 months or so, my wife Laura kept, asking me when I was going to shave, and I was like, I'm going a year at least. It got to that 8-month mark, and she was like, well, I guess you can keep it. So that went on, and I was coming up on close to 2 years of having a beard, and I'd been trimming it at the time, and found out about Mad Viking, about the company and the club side of things, and got invited to my first beard competition up in Fort Wayne, Indiana at Bearded Hero. And when I showed up, saw what the bearding community was all about, I was sold. I decided I wasn't going to trim anymore. I was just going to grow it out. And that's basically the start of what led to where I am now. A year or so later, my wife and I were able to travel to Austin, Texas for World Beard and Mustache Championships in 2017. I placed third there in the category that I competed in. And a few weeks later, the Jays from Mad Viking Beard Company asked if I wanted to be on the beard team. And I said, of course, like, why wouldn't I? And so just been going to as many comps as we can fit into our schedule. We've got a hectic enough schedule as it is personally.
You do.
So fitting in what we can when we can. And most recently, we were able to head over to Burghausen, Germany, where my wife and I both competed at the World Beard and Mustache Championships there. And I was able to take home a 5th place in my category, and my wife was able to score a 4th place in hers. So
yeah, congratulations on that, by the way. That's a lot of people. I had a couple friends that were like, "Oh man, I placed 7th or something like that." I'm like, "Yeah, but do you realize that you placed, in the top 10 of the world?"
Right.
Like that's
exactly
something,
I mean, there's some, I don't know, there's some legitimacy to that, but at the same time, like the way I looked at it in 2017 when I placed third, I think we had roughly 30 or 33 people in the category. So it was awesome, top 3 in the world. But my thinking on that is I'm top 3 out of the people who were able to make it. because I know there are plenty of beards here in the States that I still to this day have not beaten. And so had they shown up, I might have moved down a few more spots. I fortunately I was able to make it and place 5th there, and I'm grateful for that.
I don't think I've ever seen you really get beat in the 12 and over category.
I think it's been a minute. Aside from national level, like I went to the nationals in 2019 in Scranton, and there were 5 of us in the over 24-inch beard category, and I did not place in the top 3.
But I mean, truthfully, you've got, like I said, you have one of the, like, it's an iconic beard. Matter of fact, I went onto your Facebook and I snatched up some pictures. This one I actually got from my own, was at Monsters Ball this past year.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at it, I was like, the growth on that is ridiculous. And just for the record, I'm really glad that you do not style your mustache. Like, I could just picture your mustache. Like, I've seen you do like the straight out, like when you're messing around with it. And
one day I'll jump into that style mustache category, but for now I prefer just to go natural. It's less hassle on me, especially on comp days. Not having to worry about what I'm drinking, what I'm eating.
Right.
I can basically do what I want, and my beard's still going to be the same. So.
Yeah. You got Mr. Yukon in the house, Mr. Baker, Mr. Aaron D. Johnston. We were just talking about you.
Aaron.
What's up, buddy? There's been like, you're one of those, to me, like when I first got into the community, you were one of the first like big beards that I recognized in the community. So your beard to me is iconic, just because of, Mad Viking, our relations with Mad Viking and whatnot. And so you've always kind of been one of the top guys on the team since I've known you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So, and this is actually another picture I snatched up that I really liked. And I know this was one of the monsters.
That's definitely one of my favorite pictures right there.
And I was like, that was the Killer Panda year, but I was like, that's one of the first photos I ever saw, like, get posted up with IG and whatnot of yours. And I was just like, man, that is wild.
Yeah, that was the warehouse comp, and I was back there in the little studio that Sealand had set up, and I was like, dude, I got an idea for a picture. I was like, I don't know what you think about this, but I want to do, a Superman pose where I'm instead of pulling the shirt apart, I was pulling my beard apart to show their, competition logo for that year. And he was like, dude, I love it. So
that is one of the coolest pictures, and I'm surprised that picture doesn't get you get asked to recreate that picture every year. Just because.
Yeah, no, I haven't been asked to recreate it, so
we may have to work on that. Jason Sealand, if you go watch this later, you know what to do. Yeah. So, got Mr. Shannon Klingenbeard in the house, another world champion. Shannon?
Congrats on your worlds.
So, going from competitions here to like say over in Germany, like how different was it? Like, I hear the stories about it being night and day and whatnot, but like, what was the biggest differences that you saw?
I mean, Worlds is a whole different ball game in and of itself, because it's a 2-day event where, day 1, you've got almost all your natural beards are competing, and day 2 is most of your styled stuff. So if you're doing full beard styled stash or freestyle, most of that stuff happens the next day. So you get, a full day of competition where you can just kind of sit around and be a spectator the entire day. The biggest thing that I noticed internationally was you could tell what kind of beard a lot of the judges were looking for. Because if you look through the category winners, a lot of the category winners had white beards or had lighter colored beards. They definitely were not a fan of the darker colors, it seemed like. Like in the category I competed in, the number 1 and number 2 were both white beards. Number 3 was a guy out of Washington State. He had a dark beard, had a good looking beard. But yeah, the majority of it, they were looking for white beards. and then just the seriousness of the judges while you're up there, because the majority of them were, if I'm not mistaken, they were more German judges than there were anybody else. But they, like, when you go to the competitions here in the States, you kind of shake hands with everybody, and you're close with some of these people, you have a good laugh or whatever. And there wasn't a whole lot of that happening throughout the day.
It seemed like it was like very professional, and
yeah,
I was watching some of the live feeds and seeing like them kind of do like the Olympic, like put the number up and stuff like that. And like I was like, oh wow, that's a whole different level.
Yeah, that was new to me. I don't know that I've ever seen that before, but it gave you a good idea of where you stood. It didn't feel good whenever you saw a bunch of 8s. I can tell you that. To go, like, for my category, for instance, like we had the 2 rows of people standing, and as they went along the front row, and you're sitting there seeing, out of 7 judges, you're getting 5 and 6 8s, and that's all the way across the front row. And they get to the back row, and I think I'm second on the back row to be judged. The guy next to me doesn't get a 9 or a 10, and then they go to me, and I get 2 9.5s. I didn't get a single 10. I had 2 9.5s. I had 4 8s, I think, and a 7.5. And I was like, where are all the 10s at then? Like, you've already gone through half of the group, and I haven't seen a single 10. So I looked down, the guy that ended up getting 3rd place, I looked at him and I said, hey, I'm pretty sure you're getting the first 10. And sure enough, that's what happened. It went right down. I think there was 1 or 2 people between us that didn't get a 10, and then he got the first 10 of the night for our category.
So, as Natalie says, she personally enjoyed the panel judging. I think it was a cool way to go, because it kind of, the one thing that you always kind of you get here in the States with like normal competitions and whatnot is you don't really see where you stand,
right?
Until the end. So like, it's kind of nice to know where you are in the process. So right. I could see the benefit of
the panel. And I mean, at some of the competitions, like, you might not even, if you're not in the top 3, you might never find out where you placed. Exactly. Whereas at least with the panel judging, with them showing the scores like they did, I mean, you can kind of get an idea of what your score would have been and be like, okay, well, based on what these guys got, I'm sitting around this position. So you get a relative understanding of where you would have been.
I think it's a nice change of pace. And like, there was a competition in Madison, Indiana a couple weekends ago that apparently they did that style as well. Okay. And like, I've had several people that were there were like, oh no, I really like that. I really like the way that kind of played out. Yeah. And so I could see the benefit of it. Yeah.
I can see more clubs starting to do that, or more competitions starting to do that, as it goes. The one downside, if the judges aren't keeping track of their paddles, sometimes it did take them a little while to get the numbers up. And then the MC, so she was really professional along the way, like, just super, like, this is what we're doing, here you go, move on. Like, she kept it flowing pretty good. But when it came to judging, she was going pretty fast for the judges to be able to get their numbers out at times, I felt.
I know Natalie got to, I think it was, and correct me if I'm wrong, Natalie, I know that you got to sit on the judges panel.
Yep, she sat on mine and didn't give me a 10.
Uh-oh, Natalie. Calling you out now. Like, that's got to be really cool for, like, think about it though, as like Natalie got the, she was a surprise judge and got to sit on the panel.
Right.
That's a big honor.
Yeah, and it is a big honor to be on the world stage as a judge.
And then turn around and win not only the category, but best in show. Like, come on.
Yeah, that was awesome to see. It was well deserved, for sure.
100%. I can't wait. I'm going to get Natalie on here at some point, and we're going to sit down and talk about all her mini wins, and maybe we will get a tour of her museum.
There you go.
So I gave an 8.
She did.
She is honestly one of the. She's she is one of the toughest judges.
Yeah.
But she is brutally honest, and I respect it. So, she's always one of my favorite judges when I see, if I'm going to competition, I see her sitting at the table. So,
but it's going to be done right when she's on the panel.
Oh, absolutely. And if they're not doing it right, she'll make sure they do.
Oh yeah.
So, I got a story I could tell you about Florida earlier this year, where Natalie had to lay down the law. So, but let's see, Mr. Smalley's in. She'll just insult you. Yes, she
always breaks out the tape measure on me. She wants to know if it's grown anymore since the last time she saw me.
So, speaking of which, how long is your beard at this point?
You cut in and out there a little bit. It's the last I measured, it was about, I think it was 38 inches the last time Natalie measured it. So she said she was going to have to get a longer tape measure.
38 inches. Yeah, you got a little bit of cutting in and out. Yeah, maybe. There we go.
Yeah. No.
Or it's the death stare. So going in for the rest of the year, like obviously Berghausen was a big deal, and you're kind of slowed down for the rest of the year, I'm guessing. I know there's a few competitions that you still have lined up,
right,
that you're going to be going to. But let's talk about what's coming up next weekend. So, as we were talking earlier,
they're
doing the charity bowling bash, and the beneficiary of this is going to be the Medical Mutts Service Dogs. And this is something that's really cool, is the fact that it's completely different from what we're used to seeing. I love a good beard comp. I love getting out here and bearding for charity, but it's refreshing to have something that's, we're just going out to have fun. It like a lot of it is just going out, hanging out, and getting to cut up and, have some fun with your friends without the pressure of a competition. So, how did this idea come about?
Right, and that's part of what we were looking for. Well, the idea really came about because Chris and Corey both work for the bowling alley that we're hosting this event at, and they had the idea basically to do something there. I know in talking with my wife Laura, she's always had a lot more fun when we did stuff with our bearded community that was not a competition type deal, where we could sit around, hang out, and just, enjoy talking to people. There's no stress of, oh, I've got to be here at this time, I've got to go there at this time, I've got to do this, or I've got to do that. And it's just, like you said, it's a relaxed time to be able to sit around and hang out. So with the connections that Chris and Corey had at the bowling alley, being able to get us the venue for a really good price to really limit our overhead, that helped out tremendously. And then we just started the ball rolling from there.
So with the bowling, I'm guessing that you got a team put together. Are we going to see a Stu out on the lanes?
Yeah. So you will see me out on the lanes. The team that I'm bowling with, it will be myself, my wife, our son Jameson, and then my younger sister Ellen. And so with the bowling event, there is a theme your team, and teams come in with the best costumes. So when we formed our team, we decided that we were going to be the serial bowlers. And so we're going to work on our costume for that. Hopefully we get something in time.
So I'm actually going to be bowling with Aaron and Natalie on the Talking Beards team. Really kind of excited for that one. Speaking, you said his name, and he appears. What's up, Chris? So
there he is.
Yep. So you guys chose the Medical Mutts Rescue,
in addition to the bowling.
And Andrew. Yep, sorry, I forgot. And Andrew.
So Medical Mutts is an organization in Indianapolis that. Say again.
We're having some technical difficulties.
Medical Mutts is an organization in Indianapolis that trained service dogs for people that have diabetes issues, diabetic issues, PTSD, if they suffer from anxiety, many different medical conditions that could cause somebody to have need for a service dog. And so there is some cost to the person receiving the service dog. However, it's very minimal compared to other for-profit organizations. But that's just so that they know that the person who is receiving the service animal is serious about the training and serious about what they're getting themselves into. And they do different kinds of training. Mainly, they do scent training. And so through the first 2 or 3 phases of the training, they will get scents from a broad spectrum of people that suffer from diabetic issues and train the dog on that. And then in the last phase, they will basically assign that dog to a person, and then they will focus solely on that individual's scent training so that the dog knows to alert to them at this time and with these smells.
That's really cool. So is this your first time working with this group or this charity, or? I think you're having some technical difficulties there, Stu.
This is our first time working with them. Yes. Yep. Am I having them, or are you?
I think it's you. I'm coming in pretty clear. It could be just I don't know the area of Indiana that you live in, but I know Indiana can be a little weird with signals. So can everybody hear me? Make sure we're not losing it there. There we go. Hey, there we go. It's what it is.
Right.
It's that beard. It just, it causes lag with the internet. It's all that broadband running through it.
I switched off. It looked like my Wi-Fi signal in the house was going down, so I switched back to mobile. So hopefully that's better.
Here you go. Indiana is stupid.
Oh, it is. I left once or twice.
She ended up coming right back. So
ended up coming back.
Yeah, Summer. I agree with Summer here. She's like, I love this idea. I wish they did. I wish Jiggy and them her and Robert lived a little bit closer. It'd be great to see them on a more regular basis. Especially with all of Jiggy's wild T-shirts that she wears when she goes out to places. So she has got the most eclectic assortment of T-shirts, especially bearding T-shirts, and I love it. So,
I mean, I could have the most eclectic, thing of T-shirts, but you would never know.
Never, no.
You don't get to see them.
Yeah, like I feel like in order for Stu to have a shirt that'll stand out, is it's going to have to be like down the side or like on the arms. Like
side, arms, or back.
Like like Jason and them should invest in making some shirts for long beards for people like you and Mitch.
Yeah.
So see how it is. Chicken wings, chicken liver. Don't worry, I'm fixing to get to your question. Chicken wing over here being salty now. It's what it is. He's got mustache envy when he talks to me and beard envy when he talks to you. So, so he's got a good question, and we're going to open up for a Q&A here in a few minutes. But it's like, does Stu have upper lip or is it all stash?
It's all mustache. Now there is a lip in there somewhere.
Somewhere. He doesn't get to eat soup. I'll say that. No. So.
Made that mistake at a business dinner once. Yeah.
So you also have a very unique nickname. It's for the ones that aren't who aren't familiar with the Mad Viking side of the beard culture and our little group. We have this thing called Z names.
Yep.
And not everybody has them. And there's only a handful of people that really have a Z name. Well, more than a handful, but you get what I'm saying.
Right.
But yours is actually very unique. And I would actually like to hear the story of how you got your Z name, which is Nails.
So, yeah, I forget when it happened. probably around the second to third year of having my beard, and I felt like I was still pretty new to the bearding community, but they had this thing going around. It had to be 2016, 2017 timeframe. And on the Mad Viking page, that people were doing these lip sync battles and tagging somebody to do the next one. And one of the guys from here in Indiana had done one and decided to tag me in it. And I waited probably 2-3 weeks before I did mine, because I was just like, I don't do this. I'm not a video person. And so I was just pushing it off. And then one day I was driving home from work, and Nine Inch Nails' song Closer came on the radio. And so I decided that was going to be the song. And so I set my phone up on the mount, started recording, started lip singing to that. I forget if I had my window down in the truck. But yeah, I was just driving along on a country road singing Closer by Nine Inch Nails. And it was either later that evening or the next day, Carrie Sherlock, Wiz, reached out to me. And he's like, "Hey, I got your club name." And he posted up his bit about that, how I nailed the song. And so then from then on, my club name has been Nails.
I didn't know. I knew it was something with lip syncing, but I didn't know the whole story behind it. So
Yeah.
I'm that actually makes really good sense for you. Actually,
Yeah.
Wiz was always really good about that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
May he rest in peace. Would love to. I wish I'd have got to know him a little bit better. But
yeah, for sure. My wife and I really loved him and Billy. We spent a lot of time talking to him, hanging out with him through the years, and then we were able to go on a cruise with him and his wife. We did a beard cruise back in 2017, I think it was. So yeah, it would have been 17. I probably got my club name, and then 2017 again, we went on that cruise with them and a couple people from Michigan as well. And it was a really good time. They were really close friends of ours, and it was really upsetting when we heard the news.
Right. So now we talked a little bit about Monsters Ball and whatnot, and we're gonna. Are you planning to go this year?
I don't know yet. It's on the calendar, but with the drive out there, how long it's going to take, after competing at nationals in Scranton, and it was a 9-hour drive that I had to break up coming home because I was so tired from the epic weekend. I had decided that 6 hours is really my max for if I have to drive somewhere. If I can make it happen, I'll be there. But as of right now, we're looking at the skate deck we're going to get this year is going to be a sponsored skate deck.
Fair enough. I can honestly, I'm excited. I'm actually going. I need to learn the lesson about drive time, because 16 hours to Texas, although the trip was 100% worth it, was a little rough when we went to UMatter earlier this year.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, we drove to Austin for 17 Worlds. And it was, I think it took us 22 hours going down. But in order for us to go at that time, in order for us to be able to afford it, we ended up splitting the cost with 10 people. And we rented a 12-passenger van. We packed 10 people in there, and we drove all the way down to Austin. And then we rented an Airbnb. We all stayed in the same Airbnb, so we split the cost there as well. And I mean, I think we had it down to where it was roughly $300 or $350 per person to go.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Monsters Ball. I would recommend it this year. If you can make a chicken wing, second week of October in Baltimore, this is supposed to be the last one. I would recommend it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. You get to come hang out with me and Haley. So hopefully we'll get Stu and Laura there too.
Hopefully.
Now, this is not fair, Natalie. Yeah, I know that's nothing to you guys. The people
They go crazy with it, with how far they drive.
Like, I think about that, and it's like I'm saying, like it, like now that she says that, it makes me think it's like, I'm over here talking about 16-hour drive, and you're talking about not, like anything past 6 hours, you're like, I'm flying. I'm like, good Lord, they drive all over the country.
All over.
And like, I'm sure they would take the Subaru overseas if they could get it across the water.
They probably would. Knowing Aaron.
Yeah. And what's up, Kyle?
What's up, Kyle?
So, man, it's been a lot of fun, and I know that you guys have a lot of cool things coming up with this, and I know that I'm pull this up here real quick. Are you guys still taking in sponsors? And
we are currently still taking in sponsors. I believe we still have the pinhead level, the gutter bumper. We have 1 or 2 spots left of that, and then there are a few lane sponsors still up for grabs as well. If that number, the $100 for the lane sponsor is too high for, that somebody's not able to donate that much, we are also offering up sponsorship spots for different things throughout the bowling alley, similar to what Lapel does at their competition. And so we have a gentleman that has sponsored the restrooms for $25. And then there are TV screens throughout the building that can be sponsored for $25 a piece as well. So if you're still wanting to get involved and donate some money, that's another way that you can do it. In addition to that, so we have the bowling tournament on Saturday. Doors are opening at noon. Balls roll at 1, hopefully, and then we will be done by about 5. But the night before at the bowling alley as well, same place, the Easttown Recreational Center is where it's being hosted. On Friday night, the 14th at 7 p.m., they are doing a trivia night, and it's going to be a true crime themed trivia night from, I believe, 7 till 9 o'clock roughly.
I think that's what the time says. Yeah.
Yeah. And then following that, there's also going to be the karaoke. So we got a gentleman coming and setting up for karaoke afterwards.
Now, I actually visited this place, guys, a few weeks back. Me and Haley stopped when we were up for Circus Day over in French Lick, and we decided to stop by and go see Corey and Chris at the bowling alley. This is a cool little venue. It's out in the middle of, like, I kept making jokes. I was like, all I see is cornfields and then a bowling alley.
Yep.
But it's a cool spot. Everybody there was really chill, and the bar is well stocked. I promise you that. So if you guys are wanting to come and hang out and have a few drinks Friday night, it's definitely worth the time.
Yep.
And I knew you guys drove in Germany because I know that Aaron was bragging about getting to go on the Autobahn, so which is a bucket list for me.
Yeah. And we'll also have what's looking like going to be a fairly well stocked raffle table. I know that the Indiana Pacers sent in a package for the raffle table. And then one of the things I'm pretty excited about, and probably where I'm going to put all my raffle tickets, is the Indianapolis Colts sent an autographed football, and it's autographed by, it looks like, the entire team. And I've got some autographed memorabilia in my house from Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton and a couple other people in football. And so I'm pretty excited to see that on the raffle table. And I'm hoping to win that. We'll also be doing 50-50.
I did not know that was on the raffle table. That's pretty awesome.
I don't know if they posted it up yet. They maybe she didn't want me to say it, but I did.
Spoiler alert.
But we just got confirmation of that and sent out to the club. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I know you're a big Colts fan. So, and yes, I know, definitely. What's up, Russ? We're talking about the charity bowling bash going on in Jasper, Indiana, sir. If you are not busy next weekend, I would recommend making it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not sure if we'll be there Friday. We'll have to kind of play that one by ear, but we will definitely be there Saturday to have some fun.
We'll probably be there late Friday. I'm probably going to have to work all day and won't be home till about 6, and it's about 2 hours from us. So we won't be participating in the true crime trivia, but we'll show up there about midway through that, probably stick around and see some of the karaoke.
Come and find Stu doing his rendition of Closer.
There you go. Probably not going to happen again.
Oh, come on. You already talked about it on the show. It's got to happen now. So
yeah.
And Kyle, if you need a team, you know how to find it. Just got to pester the people in our group chat to get involved. So
yeah, as of right now with pre-registrations, I think so we can do 20 teams. There's 20 lanes at the bowling alley, and I'm thinking we're right around 5 or 6 teams registered right now. So there should be about 14 spots left. I know a lot of those will get filled up on the day of with people walking in to register.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, that's the same way with comps. Like pre-registration is always a last minute thing. Yeah. You know, you always see more action at the door than you do ahead of time.
Right.
So, all right, man. Pulling this all out here. Let's just do this. Is there any last thing you want to open it up? People can ask you questions if you'd like.
If people got questions for me, I'll answer.
Yeah, hit us with your questions, guys. I'm really excited for this. It's something different. It's something unique. I think it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that, man. If you need any help, just hit us on Facebook. You know, the bearding community is always there to help out if you're raising money for a kidney. So, if you're asking about this is actually going to Medical Mutts that we're raising money for at the Charity Bowling Bash, which is a service dog group that has got a really good mission. I remember when we visited in January for the meeting, I remember seeing the packet that was going around for it.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great cause.
Right. And well, it does serve the Medical Mutts does serve two purposes. Not only are they providing or service dogs for people, the dogs that they get, they want dogs that are about 1 year in age, so they don't typically train puppies. And so what they do is they actually have somebody on their team that travels around to different rescue shelters for dogs, and they take in rescues and get them out of that environment, start training them. And then, not all dogs are cut out to be service animals. And so when they have dogs that don't make it, they don't just take them back to the shelter. They adopt them out personally. And so they do adoption events at their facility or close to their facility. And we had one of our members, Daryl, he went out to that one time for the adoption event with no intentions of adopting a dog. And a few days afterwards, they adopted a dog. So
now, are they going to be able to make it out to the bowling bash, or?
They are planning to. They are supposed to have a table set up. So if anybody has any questions, and then at some point during the day, we will give them the mic and allow them to kind of talk about what they do and where they can use some help.
Well, that's awesome. I would say if they're going to have an adoption event, they might end up getting all the dogs adopted in one foul swoop out there.
Yeah.
So, it looks like Adam has a question, but what are the categories? I'm not exactly sure what he's getting at. There are any fun, crazy categories? Are we talking about for the bowling bash?
Yeah, Adam, this isn't a beard competition. It's going to be a bearded bowling bash. And so it's going to be a full-on bowling tournament. And there are categories, I guess, for costumes and the best, themed team.
Well, what he could be asking as well, sorry, chewing some ice there, is what is your favorite categories to watch, and have you seen any crazy categories in your travels?
Oh man,
Hmm.
crazy categories for me. Big one is at Monsters Ball, the shittiest tattoo category. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Granted, I only have one tattoo, and most people don't even know I have it because it's in a place that I can keep it covered unless I want you to see it. And then outside of that, uh, I made the mistake of inviting my mom to Bearded Hero probably the second or third year that I went, and didn't even think about them having the Speedo category.
Oh man.
And that was the year that Felipe from Murder City Facial Hair Club showed up in a assless Speedo.
Oh, I remember
So
seeing pictures of that.
yeah, he definitely came over trying to get my mom to tuck $1 in there. My mom refused to tuck it. She did give him $1, but she refused to tuck it.
Oh, I'm sure he felt like that was a challenge knowing Felipe.
Yeah.
So
But as far as favorite categories to watch, man, I love the freestyle stuff. I've never done it myself, but I love to see some of the creativity that some of these people have with what they do with their beard. One of my favorites actually is an old one, and one of my first times. I think it might have been the first time I had actually met Carla and Rob Schieber at Worlds in 17, and Rob had done Stars.
oh yeah,
And
I've seen that one.
I was pretty impressed by that. And then at Worlds this year, there was the honeycomb beard, was just crazy, and I
That
just don't
one was
understand how these
wild.
people do that.
Yeah, that one was wild. I
Yeah,
looked. Me and Haley were kind of like we were all about that freestyle. I was like that honeycomb was just
yeah,
intense.
I love watching that. And then the women's categories, the women's creative and the women's realistic. My wife competed in the creative for a while, and just knowing the amount of time and effort that the ladies put into those beards, it's crazy to watch them. I love to watch that category.
100%. That's definitely one of mine. Freestyle has always been one of my favorites. Uh, I think one of my favorite people to watch in the freestyle to see what he does is Anthony Cardi.
Yeah,
Anthony Cardi is always he's got some very innovative designs
he does.
when it does the freestyle, and I love it. Uh, so going from there, I was going to pull this up just to kind of backtrack a little bit. You talked about the Speedo.
Yes.
Uh, I have a funny story from May that I haven't told on the show. From the Bearding Without Borders competition. As you know, Barefoot Brains drove all the way from Fort Worth, Texas,
Yep.
to come out here and help support. He drove up to Missouri and then rode in with Caveman, and
Okay.
I was very grateful. And he brought out the banana Speedo,
Right.
and it was very funny. And like he got out there and he threw banana taffy at the crowd and whatnot. What we didn't know is that one of the mayor oil, or I can't say the word. One of the
Mayoral.
candidates, yeah, thank you. One of the candidates for mayor for Harrodsburg was in the crowd out there to do like I guess to kind of do some glad handing, and uh she got hit in the head with some of the taffy when he tossed it out in the crowd. So she came up to me after the comp and she's like, that was very interesting, with what you guys did and raising money for a charity. And I was like, oh, thank you. And I was like, did you enjoy it? And she's like, it was weird. And I was like, okay, what was so weird about it? And she specifically talked about Barefoot doing the doing the Speedo thing, and it just made me laugh. I was like, wow. I was like, I knew it was a very small town, so you're going to deal with certain level of politics, but it cracked me up to hear that
Yeah.
she was not exactly sure how to respond to the banana hammock Speedo. So
Yep. I've seen that thing a few times now, and I still don't know how to respond to it or
no
react
one
when I
does.
see it.
No one does. It's just the way it is. Yeah. I'd like to see Aaron Daniel do a freestyle with his goatee. Actually, that would be interesting to see Aaron do a freestyle with his goatee.
It would
I don't
be.
think we've ever seen that. I don't remember him doing freestyles.
Been to so many comps, seen so many. I don't know that I've seen it.
Yeah. And for the record, guys, Stu has actually thought about doing freestyle a few times because we discussed how many cans of freeze it would take to hold his beard up into a freestyle. And we were prepared to go to the store and buy like 6 cans of freeze just to see if we could get it to hold. But,
Yeah, the freestyle I wanted to do, I actually talked to one of the best in the business when it comes to freestyle, Jason Kiley.
yes.
And I told him my idea, and he straight up told me it's not going to happen. That my beard's too long, it's too heavy, it's not going to hold.
Yeah, we would definitely need at least 6 cans of freeze and some got to be glued to hold that thing up.
Yeah.
So.
Which he's gotten out of doing the freestyle. He does now the full beard natural categories, and it was because of the amount of damage that the got to be glued had been doing to his beard. And when he shaved it off to raise some more money for charity and just grew it back natural, no freestyling or anything, he said it's been coming back in so much healthier than it was. And so he doesn't, not saying he won't ever do it again,
Right.
but he's not doing that at this time.
Right. Natalie, we need to find that picture. I need to see this freestyle. She says Aaron's done a freestyle at least once. So we need to see that picture. We need to see it happen again.
It's like I've done styled stash once.
I don't think I've ever seen you style your stash. So
I did it one time in lapel.
I'd have to I'm sure that mustache is a monster when it gets styled up though.
It wasn't that day. I had been planning on doing the category, and then for whatever reason we decided to go to the zoo that day before the comp, because lapel's about an hour and 15 minutes from us. And so we didn't go up there early for, to stay the night or anything like that. And so before we went, we decided to go to the zoo. And then I showed up and hurried up and ran in the bathroom to try and style it real quick. And of course, Jim Jones is there, and I believe, and Taxi Phil is there. And it's like these guys that have been doing the styled stash for forever are there. And I'm like, I honestly don't know what I'm doing.
So, the great part about Jim Jones and Taxi, though, is they will always give advice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and Jim has offered to style my mustache for me for a competition. So there's a chance that you'll see it. Just a matter of when.
100% can't wait to see that one. So, all right, man. Is there any things that you want to add in about yourself, the competition, or the bowling bash, whatever you want to give? You want to give out your code? We can do your code as well.
Oh yeah, I mean we can do that. What is my code? Majestic. That's what it is.
Yeah.
If you go to madvikingbeardcode.com and use the code Majestic, or is it madvikingbeard.com? Use the code Majestic at checkout, save you 15%. There you go, Mad Viking Beard Oils.
What's your favorite oil?
Yep, and then check our club's page out. We are at www.hoosierbeardalliance.com. My wife actually designs the website for that and everything, so it's got all the information you need to know about the bowling bash coming up next weekend. And it's got all the links if you want to donate, or if you want to be a sponsor at all, or if you want to register.
So you guys know where to go. We'll get that shared out. I know I've been sharing it out pretty frequently as it gets posted up. We'll make sure we get this shared out and plugged a little bit more. But other than that, Stu, I really do appreciate you taking the time. I know you just got off work and had to do a mad scramble to get ready for tonight. So I'm very grateful for that.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, anytime, brother. I will kick you to the back, and we'll talk here shortly.
All right.
Thanks. All right, guys. Just kind of finishing up here. You really do, man. It's one of my favorite products that I still use it religiously. Matter of fact, I'm using the beard wash right now. Dragon's Head, and Valhalla for beard washing conditioner, and really enjoying the way that's working with my beard. So if you haven't get a chance to yet, definitely head over to Mad Viking Beard Co. Use the code Majestic, get you 15% off. That is Stu's code. It's a great one to have. Going into our cleanup, guys. Thank you for all that tuned in tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Don't forget, right now, Boston Scully, you got the code Bearded Rook for 15% off. This is the Independence. This is the OD green one. It's actually a little bit of a different material. It's a good summer weight. I got my U-Matter pen that goes with me everywhere. Matter of fact, I have it on several different hats, and I appreciate that. It's if you guys aren't familiar with U-Matter, that is a competition that gets run on in January, and it's 100% one of my favorite competitions of the year. Put on by the Clinkin Beards and Beard Mob Texas, and with obviously with Honest Amish. It's a great cause, and they are getting ready to start putting out some stuff on that. So we'll be talking with them here in the next few months, going further. So past that, if you guys get a chance, check out Vintage Grooming as well. Death Grip Mustache Wax. It's been one of my go-tos for balm and for mustache wax, of course. If you haven't had a chance to check them out, go take a look. Levi and them always do some good things, and their mustache wax is hard to beat. I'm not going to lie. If you're looking for something to get into going into this weekend, or if you're looking for information about the Charity Bowling Bash, thebeardcalendar.com has all the info that you need. I would 100% recommend checking out the website. Aaron does a really great job about keeping everything up to date and what's going on. I got to do this. So we'll be posting that picture up later on. Unfortunately, I can't get it on here right now without causing some major headaches. But as we mentioned, the Hoosier Beard Alliance doing the Charity Bowling Bash next weekend on Saturday. I think they said starting at noon. Hope to hit the lanes by 1. If you are in town early, they are doing the trivia night going in on Friday, and going to be having karaoke. It's going to be a great time, and we're going to raise money for the medical mutts. Please come out and join us. Have some conversations. Just get out there and goof off with us, and no pressure. So going into August, Bearded Theater with Beard Mob Indiana. They are doing it at the historic Crump Theater. The competition they ran last year was awesome. They raised a lot of money for the Special Olympics, and we're going to be really rocking it out this year. They took it up a whole other notch at the historic Crump Theater. It's the first time an event like this is being run in that place, and they have been doing a lot of work to get it ready. Big shout out to Ron and Stash and the rest of Beard Mob Indiana for getting the work in. I'll be having them on the show in the next few weeks to talk about it. Going into September, we have the Music City Moonshine Classic, which I know that they just finished running their raffle for their raffle tickets for that. But September 9th, 2023 in Nashville, Tennessee. We went last year for the first one. It was a great time, and they have really stepped up the game this year. It's going to be a great time. I also know that in September towards the end, and I need to get the flyer on here, but of course, Beards on the Bend with up in Pomeroy, Ohio, will definitely be going on. Big Ben Beardsman always putting in great work, and it's a great time. If you have not made it, it's a small town, but they do it big while they're out there. First weekend in October is, of course, going to be Big Whisker Revival, and I will get that flyer put in here so we can make sure to stay up to date with that. Cincinnati Beard Barons always do it right, and they always have a lot of fun. Last year, there was so much whiskey that they gave away last year. It was ridiculous. And they are going to be doing the whiskey tub again. I do know that for a fact. It's going to be a great time. Please come out and join us. Going into the second weekend, we have Monsters Ball, hosted by Mad Viking Maryland, Delaware chapter and the Mad Viking Beard Co. It's going to be the last one, guys, is what they're talking about. So October the weekend of October the 4th, I think it's the 13th through the 15th, they are doing Monsters Ball. The first night will be a costume contest. The next night will be the actual beard competition, Rams Head Live, October the 14th. And they are really gearing up. They're going to be starting to make announcements. They just did the deck sponsorships announcement released, and the decks are really cool. We showed them on the show a few weeks back with Scott and Brian, and I'm already getting mine put in because I am not missing out on one of those decks this year because the Monster Mash is one of my favorite things. And then, of course, the first weekend in November, ladies and gentlemen, is Nationals in Daytona Beach. You definitely want to make that trip if you are not planning to do any competitions towards the end of the year, but want something that's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time, and it's going to be in warmer climates. Nationals is the place to be. We are really excited for that, and I've already got me and Haley have already booked a room with the Wilsons for Nationals and spending some time at the beach and maybe doing some other fun things with a couple other good friends. So we'll see what happens. Yes, we are coming to UMatter this year 100%. It's already been in our books, and we're already looking at getting everything pulled out. And then how long does it take you to get your mustache wax out? My mustache wax, it depends on what I use. Probably about 20 minutes, depending on how thick I put it in. So, but guys, that's going to be the show tonight. Thank you all for tuning in and staying with me towards the end. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and go find something to get into this weekend. Go find something good to do for your community. If you are looking for stuff, like I said, thebeardcalendar.com always has something going on, and you're most likely to find it in your area. Remember that leave things better than how you found it, and always strive to leave a legacy. Have a great night, guys.